Welcome to the podcast, voted one of the best in the marketing research industry, both in 2019 and again in 2020. This is Research Business Daily Report, which is the only daily research news video over the last 10 years that has presented a look Monday through Thursday most weeks at one of the top stories in the industry, one that is important to people like you in the research industry. RBDR relies on viewers' support, and you can pitch in by contributing at patreon.com/RBDR. A little bit more about that at the end of today's report. I'm Bob Lederer, and I'm in my 26th year as the respected voice in market research. Shopper insights is an area of ever-widening learning. For instance, understanding a manufacturer's in-store sales takes more than just the dollars collected by that store's cashiers. Today on RBDR, we learned from VideoMining founder and CEO Rajeev Sharma about two critical measurements most of us have never heard of and yet are particularly valuable to retailers and manufacturers. One is in-store shopper leakage. The other is category closure rate. Rajeev explains not just their relevance, but the utmost informational value that each provide. Rajeev?
Thank you, Bob. In the current hyper-competitive omni-channel retail environment, it's hard enough to attract and engage shoppers. Letting them go without meeting their needs and closing the sale is a huge miss. So let's talk about doing something to address this by focusing on shoppers and measuring their in-store behaviors. Retailers and brands that rely solely on sales data to measure category performance are missing a big opportunity. Let's be frank. Sales numbers don't tell you the lost opportunity when shoppers walk away without purchasing from a category. The metric that can help detect that is category closure rates, or the percentage of active shoppers who buy. Conversely, in-store shopper leakage, or the percentage of people who leave without buying after engaging with a category. It's easy to ignore or underestimate the importance of this metric. You may think incorrectly that the closure rate for your category is too high to bother. Our data from the analysis of billions of shopping trips reveals that a majority of grocery categories have a very high walkaway rate. In fact, you might be surprised to know that the average closure rate for center store categories in grocery stores in the second quarter of 2021 was only 54%. In other words, 46% of shoppers who shopped a category ended up not buying anything from that category. Let me repeat. 46 out of 100 shoppers who engaged with a category walked away without buying. When you think about low-hanging fruits, identifying and reversing this shopper leakage may be the lowest one. Immediate financial incentives are obvious. For example, even a modest 2 to 4% increase in closure rate boosts a category's revenues by 4 to 8%, which is already significant. But the benefits of using closure rate goes beyond short-term sales. It can help improve shopper experience and reduce channel leakage. It is obviously to retailers' advantage to meet shopper needs and reduce frustration whenever shopper visits a category. But what causes shoppers to walk away after engaging with the category? How do you plug this leakage? It is possible to figure these out by analyzing shopper behaviors at the shelf. Walkaways can be caused by a number of reasons, particularly the dreaded out of stock, which has been a headache for both retailers and manufacturers during the pandemic. Yet, out of stock is rarely the reason for poor category closure rates. More likely, it is higher than expected prices. Pricing strategies should try to factor in the direct evidence of walkaways and the true cost of missed sales. But many times, it's simply a shoppability issue. In other words, shoppers are not able to find the right product quickly enough. Shoppers are known to be very impatient. If the planogram is mismatched to their decision process or the assortment does not appeal to them, they simply leave. So sometimes it's just a matter of organizing the category better or tweaking the assortment to meet the changing demographics and trip missions. And one more thing about the closure rate. If you look at the relevant shoppers, those who have traveled to the category and are actively engaging with the products on the shelf. By measuring the rate at which these high-value shoppers ultimately convert into buyers, we begin to really understand if the needs of the shoppers are being met effectively.
That wraps up today's Research Business Daily Report. As we mentioned at the start of today's RBDR, we hope that you will become an RBDR Patreon supporter. Now, for the uninitiated, an RBDR Patreon supporter is someone who agrees to provide a monthly contribution to RBDR via credit card, perhaps $10 for an individual and maybe $25 or more from a business. Both help us defray costs and maintain the excellence of this reporting media. Recently, we welcomed 2 new Patreon supporting research agencies, Rare Patient Voice and Survey Healthcare. We thank both for recognizing the value that RBDR brings to them and to the marketplace at large. What about you? Please visit RBDR's exclusive crowdfunding platform at patreon.com/RBDR, where you can select your level of support. And whatever that may turn out to be, we say thank you. We hope that you have a good research day, and we will look forward to seeing you back here with us tomorrow. And until then, by all means, please stay safe.